I remember a time I was in college and went through a breakup that was just, wasn't ready for it. It was difficult, and there was just times where I'd just go sit in my friend's room and just kind of just hang out.
Well, they brought me to church. The same people that I'm friends with and have dinner every week with are the same people who brought me to Jesus, right? So when I came down to Cincinnati, I didn't have anybody, didn't know anybody from high school because I grew up in Cleveland and wasn't a Christian, didn't know God. For 4 years, they kept inviting me to Crossroads, and I kept saying no, doing my own thing, doing the whole college experience thing. Never really gave up on me, pursued me pretty consistently and brought me here, brought me to God.
After my grandma died, she was buried on my birthday, and I was just not a good time. And they didn't really know what was going on. My best friend did, and she talked to everybody, and then in choir they all came and they surrounded me and they were singing to me and like telling me how everything's gonna be okay and stuff like that.
I live very, very far away from my family, so being with best friends or squads in general really help out when I need a babysitter, when I need a friend, somebody to talk to or somebody to go out with. I'm not always able to find a sitter quickly because I don't have family around here, so they are really nice with that.
Having leaders that we're friends with, I think they can relate, and we can go to them and talk to them and kind of pray about the struggle that some of these students may be having, and they just can pour into us when we're kind of tired and just need that kind of refreshing.
We play on a rec basketball team, and we always had our friends, our squad. They always showed up to our games. So in our championship game, we didn't win, but they showed up to support us. So it was still nice to have them there.
When I was at camp, I was going through a difficult time in my life. I wasn't really super strong with Christ. I had been in my younger years, but after that, kind of just broke off. And then I came to HS camp for the past couple years, and then I eventually just ended up reconnecting and made a great group of friends who I've been to camp with multiple times, and they've helped me out through whatever you name it. They've just been great and supporting me.
I could say at my bake sale, when everybody came and helped pitch in for my trip to Nicaragua, it was great to see how people just came in. Some people didn't even buy no baked goods. They just gave me money for my trip. And it's good to see how people come along together when you're doing something nice.
Well, one time I spoke at youth group and I was really nervous, and I remember looking out into the crowd and I saw my friends and they calmed me down and made me really happy that they were there to support me. So it was nice. It was good. Yeah.
Squad goals. We need a standard on what a great friend is. Well, we can look no further than Jesus. Jesus is the epitome of a great friend because of this thing called the gospel. Let me explain the gospel for you, okay? You and I, people, all of us, we choose ourselves a lot. We choose what's comfortable to us. We choose what we want over what other people want or over what God wants. Jesus came to earth, God in the flesh, and walked with people. He showed people how to love, how to give, how to serve, and how to do this thing called sacrifice. Jesus dies on a cross as a sacrifice because every time we choose ourselves, it's this thing called sin. Sin is ugly, sin is messy, sin is anytime we choose us over God. We've all sinned. But Jesus, he chose us. He sacrificed himself for us as a payment for every time you and I have messed up, are messing up, or will ever mess up. And because of this sacrifice, he ends up dying on a cross. And they bury him, and then they put him in a tomb. But the good news is, Jesus, 3 days later, he walks out of the tomb. He beat death. He got out of the tomb and walked away. You know what that means? That means that the power of Jesus can live in you and in me. We have the power to not choose ourselves, but to choose love. Love for other people, love for God. Jesus' sacrifice shows us everything we need to know about being a good friend. And by having great friendships with each other, we can understand more about Jesus and more about his love. Can you imagine what the world would look like if all of us, instead of choosing ourselves, we chose love? Could you imagine what the world would look like if we all decided that we wanted the power of Jesus to live in us? Could you imagine what our friendships would look like if all of us decided to let Jesus be the foundation of our friendships and the foundation of our lives? Here's the deal. You want to be a great squad member? You want to have a great squad? It all starts with your relationship with Jesus. He is the one that will give you power. He is the one that will give you the power to love other people through things. The power to love people and challenge them all comes from Jesus. The epitome of squad goals. Followers of Jesus trying to be like him. That's how you be a great squad member.